Alright, this is Nathan Morley with another video on the large Lego project. This one is the transmission motor controller. It's finally built after about 40 hours and many long nights in Mountain Dews. So, it's 3 levels. Each level is really one standard Radio Shack PC board. I have all these little solid-state relays. There are about 21 of the things on. Those are mostly on the upper level, and some on the middle, some on the lower. Then on the upper level we have the counter, the timer, number of relays which work with the counter and the timer, and also the 7 LEDs which give information on what the thing is trying to do. In the middle level we have the limiting system for the upshift limiting and the downshift limiting, as well as the motor controller for the number 1 transmission. And on the bottom level we have the motor controllers for the number 2 and the number 3 gearboxes. One really nice thing is the holes on the PC boards managed to line up very nicely with the holes in the beams on the standard Legos, so that's quite nice. Now, the way this works is we have the power input here. We have a input that will give information on the direction of the machine and whether it is trying to move or not. Then this one down here gives information on the speed, the input speed of the transmission. And over here we have the clutch, then the position feedback switches for the number 1, the number 2, and the number 3 gearbox. And I don't know how well you can see it, but there are 2 little wires down here. That is where, well, this one is where the number 2 motor connects. Over here is the number 1, and then the number 3 down here. Now the LEDs, the far left one here is power. Then on the far right we have clock pulse. Next is reverse, then direction of count, and then the first, second, and third binary digits. So when each of these 3 LEDs is illuminated, then the corresponding gearbox will be attempting to engage high. And then if they're dim, as they are now, then the transmission will attempt to be engaging low. Now the way this works, normally this wire here will be connected to the power supply from the main motor, so the little infrared receiver. Now it's just connected to a switch, and in the final machine, then this guy, this speed wire, will still be connected to a switch, but the switch will be run by a little flyball tachometer, which you'll see later. So now amazingly it works. This whole combination of Radio Shack boards and relays and wires and chips works. So it's set up to allow shifting in neutral and forward. This will allow for coasting. So that's reverse, neutral, forward. So back to neutral. And with this switch I can simulate high-speed motor operation. So that's high speed. You can see the direction of count light is illuminated. It's counting up. The clock pulse light was going, at least, and now all 3 of the binary digits are illuminated, so now the vehicle will attempt to engage 8th if it were attached to a gearbox. Now, counting back down, and down it goes all the way back into first. Then also from whatever gear it is in forward, if you engage reverse, it will go automatically right to first. Now, for those of you who really know your electronics, you might notice one really odd thing, and that is that it is completely bypassing gears 5 and 6, which honestly is not a major concern, but at this point I am so happy with the fact that it is working that I'm not too worried about it. So hopefully next time I'll have this thing actually attached to the gearbox, or some other interesting things. So keep watching.